Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your October 2018 mid-month readings. Thank you for joining us here today and welcome to any newcomers. Yes, I am back home in California after 3 months in Europe. I know my California background is a little different than what it used to be. It's because I moved right before I went to Europe, so I'm still in the process of figuring out where all my pictures need to go and all of that stuff. So it's a little different, but we'll get it all sorted out. So thank you for those of you who continue to follow me wherever I'm traveling to. I do like to travel quite a bit. Thank you for your continued likes, shares, and subscribes. And to all of my clients out there as well, regular and new, thank you for, again, wherever I'm at, continuing to keep me so busy with personal one-on-one readings. It's a pleasure and an honor always. Thank you to read for all of you. If any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can get more info and contact details by either clicking on the description bar of any of the videos I post, or you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage and click on the little About button. You can email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you and set up a personal reading live or recorded as quickly as possible. Turnaround time is pretty fast because I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week. It is what I do. And I do a wide variety of readings of all different types and lengths in all the main areas of life. So if you're interested, email me and we'll go from there. All right, let's move right into this reading. This is for, I forgot to mention too, you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy. And that link is also provided. That's good for fast answers to the really quick, easy questions. All right, this reading is for the fire sign of Sagittarius for the remainder of October 2018. So we're looking at the last 2 weeks of October. For additional clarification, if you know your rising and your moon sign, watch those videos as well because that can be helpful. All right, Sagittarius, let's see what's in store for you for the remainder of October 2018. We begin with the Seven of Pentacles, followed by the King of Wands. We have the Queen of Cups, followed by the Two of Swords. From the bottom of the deck, your overall, you got 2 cards. Leo got 2 cards too for overall energy. Your crowning cards from the bottom of the deck representing overall energy, focus, and advice for the remainder of October is the Nine of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. I'm going to pull one more like advice card just because I feel like it. The Eight of Wands. Okay. Right. Okay, Sagittarius. So it looks like a lot of you find yourself around the middle of the month or so taking stock of something. Now, it's a general reading, so what that something is may vary. For some of you, it may be a personal relationship. It might be a personal relationship with a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or rising sign, or somebody who manifests like a water sign. Could also be, with another fire sign, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, like yourself. So it could be a relationship, or it could be some other kind of situation, or it could be a situation at work too, which involves another person or a couple of other people. So there's a sense of taking stock because we start with the Seven of Pentacles and the King of Wands. So the Seven of Pentacles is a card of reflection and assessment, motives, motivations. That's what corresponds also to the number 7. Pentacles is earth energy. So in the tarot, this is usually energy around the earthly concrete areas of our life. And it can often manifest in things like money, finance, property, resources, assets, job, etc. Those tangible things. Things we can see and touch and feel. In relationships, the energy can remain the same too. Tangible efforts from the work that we put into, tangible results from the efforts and work that we put into things. So it's harvest time on this card, and this woman, before she picks her harvest, is taking stock. She's taking stock. She has put in a lot of work in growing what the Pentacles represent to her. Could be a relationship, it could be an actual job or a project, or just her life in general. Taking stock at what she has. And sometimes that leads us to making different decisions. Sometimes Sometimes the Seven of Pentacles represents, and this just came into my mind for some of you, sometimes the Seven of Pentacles represents maybe taking a look at the situation that you are in and wondering and asking yourself, should I take what I have from this situation or relationship now, what I have, the lessons I've learned, and leave? Should I continue investing in this thing? Should I stay and make changes, or should I leave and grow a different crop of something else somewhere else? So it's a card of taking a look at what you have. It looks like you've put a fair amount of effort into something, a job, a project, a person, a group of people, a relationship. And you're asking yourself if your efforts have gotten you what you wanted, and based on that, what decisions do you make moving forward? Now, the Seven of Pentacles is clarified by the King of Wands. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy, Sun, Moon, or Rising, and showing up as a king, but could also be a female as well. I think for a lot of you, this represents you, a fire sign individual, dynamic, energetic, a go-getter, not one to rest on your laurels for very long. Very charismatic, passionate, energetic energy. And for some of you, it might represent another fire sign who's significant to you in this situation or in a relationship as well. But I feel like a lot of you are just taking stock. I got some similar energy for Leo as well. Taking stock at what you've put into something and how you feel about where you're at right now, and maybe making decisions on whether or not you need to change things, to move on, to move away from, etc. Now, what's next to that is the Queen of Cups with the Two of Swords. So the Queen of Cups is water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, showing up as a king, as a queen, but it could also be a male as well in this situation who's just manifesting like the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, if it represents another person, somebody who's manifesting as a water sign, even if they're not, Cups is water energy, so this is the area of our heart, emotions, feelings, relationships. The Queen of Cups is lovely energy. She's very loving and nurturing, always knows the right thing to say, great source of support, feedback, comfort, love, very patient, self-sacrificing even. And it's a card that represents deep spirituality, and often if it doesn't represent another individual, it can instead, or in addition, it can represent needing to touch base with your intuition and how you feel about something, because the Queen of Cups is one of the most spiritual people in the tarot, except for perhaps the High Priestess. And so when the Queen of Cups shows up, this is also can be advice from Spirit in regards to this situation that I'm contemplating, because she's right next to the Seven of Pentacles. How do I feel about this? What is my intuition also telling me? So the Seven of Pentacles is taking concrete stock, taking a look and saying, okay, I've invested this much of my time, my effort, my money, my resources, my heart, etc. And this is what I have to show, that I can see, that I can feel. The Queen of Cups is saying also, don't forget to take a look while you're taking concrete stock. Also touch base with, how do I feel about this in my emotional landscape? What does my intuition or my gut instinct also tell me about this situation? Because it can help if there are any changes or decisions that need to be made. Because it feels like you might be stuck, or somebody that you're in relationship with might be stuck. And when I say in relationship, it doesn't necessarily always mean a romantic sexual relationship. Because I know that not everybody that watches these readings are looking for readings about a romantic relationship, or care about being in a romantic relationship, or seeing readings like that. This can always resonate in another area of your life. That's the beauty of general readings. Some of you, and in relationship doesn't necessarily mean romantic. It can be another type of relationship, a friendship, a family member, somebody at work as well. So what clarifies the Queen of Cups is the Two of Swords. This is a card that represents feeling stuck, feeling at a crossroads, a sense of duality, and maybe not knowing what decision to make, or which path to choose, or what to do. But the Two of Swords also, I often feel it's kind of like the head stuck in the sand, ignoring the great big huge purple elephant in the living room, because the blindfold can also often represent a reluctance and a resistance to deal with something, that there's something in front of you which needs to be dealt with, but as long as you keep the blindfold on, you don't have to see it. And if we don't have to see it, we don't have to like think about it and then be responsible or obligated to have to make a decision or choose some course of action or something. So the Two of Swords can represent feeling stuck because there's when there's a reluctance and resistance to dealing with something that needs to be dealt with, a decision that needs to be made or something that needs to be done, and we choose not to look at it, that keeps us kind of stuck. So for some of you, you may be stuck in a relationship of some type with this Queen of Cups individual, and you may feel stuck as to what to do. There may be some aspects of it that need to be dealt with, but you're not quite, or haven't at least up until now, been quite willing to look at. Because if you look at it, then knowledge means that we have a responsibility to do something, to act, because it's really uncomfortable if we don't. Some of you, the Queen of Cups may represent another person in your life that you're in relationship with in some way, whether it's romantic or in some other kind of sense, and they may be stuck and not knowing what to do about something. They may be suffering from a bit of a mild depression or some difficulty of some kind too, and you're trying to think about ways that you can help them. There may be something that they're not willing to look at that they need to look at and deal with. But I feel like for a lot of you, there's something, because the the Seven of Pentacles is right next to the Queen of Cups. And then you, at least the majority of you, are represented by the King of Wands, is right next to the Two of Swords. So even though these get clarified in different ways, I feel like for a lot of you, there's something that you're not willing to look at. Now, for those of you for whom this isn't relating to a relationship reading, this Queen of Cups and the Two of Swords can represent that you're in contemplation and reflection over some other situation in your life. It could be a project, job, work, career, spiritual path, something. It feels like you're maybe taking stock of what you have, but you're not looking at it completely in its totality. There's maybe some things that you're ignoring or not wanting to look at because maybe you're only just focused on, the fruit that's ripe, that's ready to be picked. And there's other things that you need to look at too in order to make the best decision moving forward, whether it's about a specific person or not. And the Queen of Cups can be just straight up advice for you, that what you need to look at, in addition to that you might be missing or not willing to look at, is in addition to looking at the more concrete, maybe more practical aspects of the situation and feeling stuck, the Two of Swords can represent that you also need to consider touching base with what your intuition, your gut instinct, and your feelings also tell you about this decision in order to move forward. Think about it and take stock from a combination of all of those to make the best decision moving forward as possible. Because it looks like there's a lot of stress and anxiety kind of tied up around whatever the situation is for you, Sagittarius, because your overall energy, you got 2 cards and then I pulled an additional advice just because I felt like it. I always go where I'm led. Your overall energy is the Nine of Swords, which I never really like seeing because it represents a lot of stress, anxiety, worry, fear, overthinking, overstressing, circular thinking, your head going around and around and around. There's no way out kind of energy. It is mostly illusionary energy, but that's the beauty of the Nine of Swords, is that it's mostly illusionary energy. Meaning that while the source of your concern, anxiety, fear, doubt might be valid, the Nine of Swords usually comes up when somebody is making something worse in their head, building it up by going over and over and over it, dwelling on it all the time. You're making it bigger in your head than is actually reflected in the reality, the external reality of the situation. Your mind being your own worst enemy, because swords in the tarot are governed by the element of air. That's air energy, and this is the area of our selves and our lives in the tarot which represent what goes on in our heads, because air energy is cerebral, psychological, mental energy. It's about how we look at things, our belief systems, our perceptions and perspectives of things, our own ideology, because that affects the way that we see the world and people and then that affects how we relate and communicate, because it starts with our thoughts and our belief systems. And the Nine of Swords, you can see that all 9 of these swords, they're kind of like, some are going up and down, some are going crossways, they're intertwining. It can represent kind of an overthinking, a jumble of thoughts. And she's completely and solely focused. She's hunched over in this protective manner on whatever the source of this is. And it's building up to be worse in your head than it actually needs to be. Now the card would cut back on that, because you can see there's a little owl on the windowsill here. Everything on a tarot card is symbolic. I mean, you could just spend hours kind of describing one tarot card. Now, owls are one of those universal symbols of wisdom, insight, enlightenment, truth. Remember in the Winnie the Pooh series, whenever they had a question or couldn't figure something out, they went to wise old Mr. Owl to ask, for insight and questions and clarification. And he always had the answer. Even if he didn't have the answer, he had the answer. And this is very close to her. It's so close she could just about reach out and touch it, but she can't see it because she's not looking at it. That the fact that there's this answer, solution, or enlightenment, or potential wisdom, something to be gained there. Why? Because she's only focused on whatever the source of this, or he, on whatever the source of this, this struggle, conflict, anxiety, fear is. I mean, the moon's risen high in the sky, which means it's probably 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and she should be asleep, but she's not, because, she's just overthinking this thing. Now, what clarifies it is the Knight of Pentacles. Knights usually represent offers and opportunities because they're the bringers of the tarot. So this is a concrete, tangible, practical offer or opportunity. And there's something about it which it's the source of this stress, anxiety for you. Now, for some of you, this might be job or work related on your career path. You might be waiting to hear back from somebody regarding a job or a job offer, opportunity, or project of some kind. You might be already, some of you I feel are actually already working in an established job or career path, and there's some other offer coming up that looks good and it's intriguing, but for some reason you're kind of stressing about it. You may be looking around going, okay, well, I'm stable where I'm at. If I take this other job, what might happen, what might not happen. I mean, the Nine of Swords usually is a card that speaks about fear of the future. If I do this, what if this happens? If I do this, what if this doesn't happen? Writing the script for a future which hasn't even unfolded yet. And we forget about divine timing and orchestration. So some of you may be waiting on an offer and stressed out about it. There might be an offer on the table in front of you, and you're, again, stressed out about it because you're taking stock of what you have. Should you take this? Should you accept it? Some of you, it might be an offer you're considering that might be affecting a relationship that you have, or a spirit. If, again, for those of you for whom this is not a relationship reading, this Queen of Cups and Two of Swords, again, can represent that what you're going to find helpful in this reflection, contemplation process that looks like it's driving you a bit cuckoo on the baddie side. Take stock of, yes, the practical, maybe financial, tangible aspects of it, but also ask yourself on a feeling and intuitive basis. Okay, offer and do I accept this offer? Do I make this offer? Some of you might be making an offer. Would it be good on a practical level for me, but also on an emotional and intuitive level? How do I feel about this? Because you may not be seeing everything there is about it. For those of you for whom this has something to do with a relationship, I feel like for some of you, there's somebody close to you, and you may be contemplating making an offer to them, or vice versa, and there's some sense of being stuck. Here's the thing. I pulled an additional advice card because I'm getting like 5 or 6 different stories. The advice is the Eight of Wands. This is a communication and also the travel card as well, but I'm feeling communication more than anything else. For those of you for whom you may be in the middle of reflection or contemplation about whatever it is, a relationship or a job or a project or something of some kind, I feel like for some of you that you're feeling a bit stuck, you're not able to kind of see your way through this. I feel like you need to reach out and ask for help. I feel like there's somebody around you that's there that could give you very good, pithy advice about what to do and give you some feedback and kind of help you process through this. For those of you for whom there's somebody close to you, whether it's a romantic partner or a friend or even, somebody else that might be going through a hard time or might be kind of stuck, I feel like you should definitely reach out to them. I feel like that offer kind of works both ways. For those of you for whom are waiting for an offer that has something to do with job or work and you're stressing out about that, I feel like this message, this news is coming in. You just have to be patient a little bit longer, and it's not a bad thing for you to actually reach out and follow up with it as well. And that's pretty much it. So Sagittarius, that wraps up your October 2018 mid-month general reading. I hope that you found it helpful and useful. Again, if any of you are interested in a more personal one-on-one reading with me, you can get more info and contact details by clicking on the little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage, or you can click on the little description bar of all the videos I post. I do a wide variety of readings, love and romance, of course, and under that umbrella, reconciliation spreads, compatibility charts. I do career work and finance as well as investment readings. I do channeled messages from passed on loved ones as long as there was a strong connection between you and the passed on loved one. And I also do 6 and 12-month overviews, which take a look at what's coming in your life in all the main areas over the next 6 or 12 months, depending on how far out you want to look. You can do those at any time of the year, but the last quarter of the year seems to be particularly popular for people ordering those readings because, we tend to, towards the end of the year, we like to take a look at what's coming in the new year. And I also do gift readings, which you can do, of course, at any time of the year, purchase a reading as a gift for someone. But again, they seem to be popular in the last few months of the year during the holiday season as holiday gifts. So something to consider as well. And you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy, and that link is also provided. So Sagittarius, I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the November 2018 general readings. And until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.